Hey y'all, welcome back. This is Michelle from Michelle's Empty Nest, and today I wanted to walk you through my pages for the March list prompts that are done by the Scrappy Wife, who is here on YouTube, and she also has a Patreon account, and that is where she actually shares this this little challenge that she does every month. And I did want to mention that I asked her back in January if she was okay with me sharing the actual prompts themselves in videos and photos and things like that, because it's on a paid account, and she was perfectly fine with it. So I appreciate her allowing me to do that, so that I didn't have to try to hide the prompts from you or whatever. It just makes it a little bit easier. So I will go through these. I wanted to start by saying that this month is very simple and streamlined for March. I did not do, like any of these kind of stitching things together. I think I only did some layering on one page. No pockets at all. I had a few pockets last month. No flip ups, nothing fancy, just simple and streamlined, because I wanted to get this done before the end of the month. And I know we're not at the end of the month yet, but it's quickly approaching. So it's a very simple layout, just with pattern paper and a 3x4 card for these layouts this month. And I'm okay with that because the design and the beauty, or whatever you want to call it, of these layouts is not what's important here. To me, it is the lists that truly are important. Now, yes, I enjoy making cute little pages and having all this texture and things like that. But the heart of this journal is indeed to just get these lists out on paper, out of my head, out where somebody else might see them if they were so inclined. So that's that. So let's go ahead and get started. A lot of these papers as well are kind of like stash busting papers. They're from cheaper paper pads that I got from like Michael's or Joann's or Hobby Lobby years ago when I was doing listing with the Reset Girl. This was way before I ever thought, okay, I'm going to go ahead and start scrapbooking. We're talking maybe 6 or 7 years ago, something along those lines. So I had just some cheap paper pads for that. And so most of these papers, I don't know where they came from specifically. So I can't really give you a lot of heads up on that. But if I know, I will tell you. So for the first, well, let's look at the prompts. The first one is favorite movies. Number 2 is people that I have helped in the last 12 months. And I changed that one around a bit. We'll talk about that. Number 3, things you want to do with your family. 4, ways to de-stress. 5, favorite affirmations. 6, best compliments you ever received. Number 7, list things you worried about in the past that never happened. I could have listed pages and pages on that one. Number 8 is people you admire. Number 9, health goals for this month. And number 10, favorite high school memories. And those are kind of hard to narrow down as well. So I kind of went with some broader categories, I think, there. So for the first one, for movies, I chose The Breakfast Club, Dirty Dancing, 7 Pounds, The Last of the Mohicans, Grease, Fireproof, Pretty in Pink, and Footloose. Lots more would be in favorite category, but I think these would be there right at the top. And I don't really watch movies much anymore. I don't know. I just don't make the time to sit down and do it. And I know there's quite a few that I would like to see, and I need to make a point of doing that at some point in time. Even if I'm fussy cutting in front of the TV, that would be better than nothing. All right, so another random paper pad here. And for this one, I ended up doing, and I maybe need to put a title on this one. I didn't really put titles on anything else this month, but I changed it to people that have helped me in the past 12 months. I don't feel like I have helped that many people. And I know that sounds horrible to say, but other than my family, I couldn't really think of people that I may have helped in some way. Which is kind of disheartening and something I need to work on. So what I did was just to list out these 7 people here. So I have my husband, Olin, and then our 3 sons, Ben, Dylan, and Austin. Mercy was a nurse while I was in the hospital for about 7 days, and she was very helpful, very influential part of my care. And then Brandon and Wayne are 2 of our neighbors, and they have helped us when my husband needed some muscle help, when I wasn't able to help him lift things to get him into the house or off of a trailer, things like that. We've got some new furniture recently and doing some bathroom remodeling and things like that. So they have come in clutch to come over and help lift heavy things that I could not help my husband with. So I was very appreciative of that. And then for things I want to do with my family, axe throwing is at the top. I don't know why I am so obsessed with trying to go axe throwing with my family, but I am. I just think it would be so much fun and a lot of laughs for us to try to do that. The holdup is that I have a really bad neck and have had surgery, and so it might not be the safest thing for me to do, but I really want us to go. I think it would be really fun to go on a cruise with them. Our boys are all around the 30-ish age. They are grown men, of course. They live on their own, and we don't get to see them as much as I would like. So I think, being stranded out at sea for several days and seeing some different parts of the world when you go to port would be very interesting. And that kind of ties in with the third one of traveling to another country, maybe taking a flight across the pond and being able to see some new sights with them as well. Camping, we used to camp in a camper when the boys were younger, and we also did tent camping when they were in Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. But we haven't camped in a long time, and I would like to camp with no Wi-Fi as my children, are as adults. So I just feel like when we're together and we can really have some good time for conversation, there's so much laughter, there's so many things that we talk about, and I really would like to take that to the next level and just be out in the middle of the woods, camping, not worrying about our phones or social media or anything like that. Then number 5 is bowling. Just a simple, trip to the bowling alley I think would be fun as a family. All right, these were the de-stress things that I thought would be helpful. So I started off with breathing exercises and meditation, and both of these things I get help with through my therapist. I see a psychologist for therapy. I've mentioned my mental health struggles before, and I told you I always intend to be authentic here with you on this channel, and I hope that I, am coming across as being authentic to you. But I do see a therapist, and so she sends me audio clips of meditations to do, as well as she gives me, pointers on what to do for breathing exercises when we are having a session. Prayer, a huge part of my life. Music and dancing, they kind of go hand in hand. It's rare that I don't have music playing and I kind of dance around like I don't know what you even want to call it, but I'm not that great a dancer, but I don't care when I'm home alone. I just dance to the music. And then crafting, and of course, a nice long hot bubble bath. Okay, this page was for affirmations that I love, or current affirmations, or how did she word it? Favorite affirmations. All right, so I am safe, I am fearless, I am loved, I am worthy, and I am enough. And I say those things to myself often. Then there were some things about the best compliments you ever received. And this first one I used to get a lot when we would be out at a grocery store or a mall or some event or whatever. People would say, "Your boys are so well behaved." Now, they weren't perfect by any means, but they weren't acting the fool either for the most part. So being complimented on how they behaved was a huge just an influence on, kind of like, all right, maybe I'm doing something kind of right here with this parenting thing. If people come up to you and say that your children are well behaved. And they were boys, and all 3 within 3.5 years of each other. So They had the chance to do the monkey business out in public, but thankfully they were typically well behaved. The next one, you're like a Michelle who does everything. When I worked for the State Patrol here in Georgia, I worked at a post, and I used to just do a little bit of everything there. And so a couple of the troopers, that was kind of their little, like a lovingly, jokingly line where they would say, it's the Michelle who does everything, because they could come to me and get help with whatever they needed. And then, you look stunning was said to me when we were at a Marine Corps League ball several years ago in a formal gown, and I felt stunning, but to have someone come up and say it to me was very much needed and appreciated. All right, so then the list for things that I worried about in the past that never came true. As I said, that list could have gone on, but this card only had 5 spots, so that's what I picked. So the first one is Olin or the boys passing away. I think we all worry about our spouse and our children meeting an untimely death, or I don't know, at least I do, so I'm assuming it's normal, but that is my biggest fear, which thankfully has not come true. A house fire, I have an irrational fear of fire. I have documented about that before in a couple of other projects. A break-in, especially like a serious break-in if I'm home alone. Maybe I'm at home at night by myself, or during the day when my husband's at work, especially if like I was in the shower and somebody broke in, and I have a lot of fear surrounding that, and that is something that I try to work through in therapy as well. Someone being in a serious car accident, either myself, my husband, my spouse, my husband, my children, another family member or a close friend. I do worry about that. And then I just went with failure in general. And I say it's never come true because I don't feel like I've ever been a complete failure at anything that I've done. And again, not to sound, a little snooty with that, but just that I've always worked hard at whatever I've tried to do. And I may not have been as big a success as someone else, but I feel like I didn't fail at anything that I've tried. And so that provides a little comfort there. All right, the next item in our prompt list was people that I admire. And so my husband is at the top of the list because I do have a lot of sincere admiration for him. He is a good man. He is a great husband and father. He works hard. He provides for me. He takes care of me. He protects me. Just so many wonderful qualities. And so he definitely made my list. And then I have my friend Leslie, who passed away last year, and she had quite a bit of health problems. And she kept pushing forward all the time. She had a lot of tenacity, and that really made me admire her. Military and their spouses, as a former military spouse, I know that is a difficult role. As a wife of a former Marine, I know that, he also had a difficult role. And so I'm very admirable of those people who put their life on the line and who support them. Then I put 2 celebrities, Dolly Parton and Bon Jovi, because they do a lot of philanthropic work. And I think that with someone who in their position of fame and fortune, who are willing to give back and help out those who are in need is a very admirable quality. And then I put my pastor, Pastor Benny. He often talks about the kind of upbringing that he had, and it was not that great, not in a good home life situation. And now he is a wonderful pastor, very well known in the area that I live. He has a book. He has been on some like little TV show interview things and on the radio quite often. So I admire him for coming as far as he has and sharing his story. And then my friend Laura, who just lost her second husband to health reasons not long ago. Her second husband passed away from leukemia. I believe the first husband was also some form of cancer. She also has a special needs son who requires her help for pretty much everything, and yet she still stays strong, and so I admire that. All right, so let's make this one a little quicker. These are always going to be things that I'm working towards as goals because I'm never great at them. Trying to get more or better sleep, drink more water, and cut down on carbs and sugar for health reasons, and, you know, possibly losing some weight would be awesome from that as well. This page, High School Memories, is the only spread that's a list page that's not stitched. I didn't stitch the list, the prompt list itself. They're not stitched in, but everything else is. However, my sewing machine decided right up here at the very top, as soon as I started trying to stitch this one, that it was going to eat up a whole bunch of thread, and I've got to dig it all out. And I was on the last prompt, and I did not take the time to figure out how to do that. So for this one, I put the junior senior prom, being in color guard, the people who twirled the flags on the halftime show with the band. Walking the stage was, you know, never in doubt that I would do that, but still I was proud of that moment, hearing your name, knowing your family's hearing your name, that kind of thing. Being in Beta Club and National Honor Society, and just participating in those clubs and different things that we did. And then I just rounded it out with my friends because I had a little close-knit group of friends, and we did everything together. We were always together at each other's houses, and just a lot of fond memories of them. So that is where we're going to end the video for today. Again, just a look at how chunky she's getting. So I probably will have to start another book after next month. I'm definitely going to try to fit April in here, and then it's probably going to have to be another journal. And I already have one on hand ready to go from JM Planning Essentials. So if you enjoyed the video today, I would appreciate a thumbs up down below. And if you have not already hit that subscribe button, I would certainly appreciate you doing that and becoming a part of my little YouTube family. There will be close-ups over on Instagram where I would love for you to follow me as well. I'm michelle's.empty.nest over there, and I post a lot of things that just never make their way over here to YouTube. So that would be very much appreciated as well. And until I see you in the next video, take care of yourself, do something good for yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.